Happy Aloha Friday, everyone, and welcome to another episode of My Tais at Sunset. I am Tai.
Aloha, I'm Mai. Happy Aloha Friday. I set the intention that we are going to have a lot of fun and we're going to share a lot of really good stories. Hopefully, I have a really good delivery on some of the stories that I want to share, so you guys all enjoy it.
So just an update on the storm. Everything was fine. Actually, surprisingly, it only flooded in a couple areas around Houston, but it was actually okay, and everybody seemed to fare well. And people were asking me what I eat during a storm, and I was like kimchi ramen. I like chips and salsa for sure, and Rice Krispie treats. So yeah, but right now I have a bowl of pasta staring at me.
Mm-hmm. But speaking of food, yeah. I have some fun things again that I'm going to share that my mom brought for me. One of them is what I talked about last time. It is the Foodland's salt and vinegar wings.
Yum.
And the bag is open. And the smell of the vinegar is...
Did that just make you choke a little bit?
Oh my God. It's very strong.
Potent.
But let me see if I can find a drumstick. They're mostly wings, but there's a little drumstick in here. Here, I'll show you. Tai, see? This is what it is. These little things, which we call drumettes. Right? Drumsticks, little tiny baby drumettes.
When you called it drumettes the other day, I was like, no. No drumettes.
Anyway.
They just make me feel like little baby chickens are running around with no legs.
So, I mean, it looks like fried chicken, but it is coated in vinegar. So, I mean, like I said, the recipe is simple, your favorite fried chicken recipe, and then just baste it after it's cooked with your favorite vinegar.
So you're eating drumettes and I'm eating pasta.
Mm-hmm.
This is awesome. Mm-hmm. Are you seriously going to eat?
I'm just going to take one bite. Put that down.
She took a bite.
Mm-hmm.
Ginger's looking at you.
She is highly concerned about the chicken.
I see that.
And she's like, are you going to give the rest to me? I'll take care of that.
Nope. No crinkling bags for you.
Okay, and I have one more thing. My mom brought that. And my mom bought me this.
Wow. Kona Coffee Dark Chocolate Macadamia Nuts.
I know. They're these little... I'll just take one out. It's a very crinkly bag. I'm sorry. But these little round... So it's like a perfect little bite-sized chocolate bite. But on the inside... I'll bite it. I don't know if you can hear that. But there is a macadamia nut on the inside.
A really tiny macadamia nut in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, full of chocolate.
Full of chocolate. But
yum.
That dark chocolate with the coffee, it just makes it even more rich. When I make a chocolate cake, I will put a little bit of espresso in my chocolate cake recipe, just so it makes it like a richer chocolate flavor. They seem to go well together. Doesn't necessarily go well with vinegar chicken, but...
Yeah, I imagine that does not taste like completely compatible, but I would not recommend that pairing to like anybody.
But they're both delicious on their own. On their own.
Yeah. Well, this past weekend, we celebrated my youngest niece's first birthday, and that was really fun. The land is really coming together. We have mowed everything out. We can go all the way back 13 acres, drive around. There's cattle. There's everything. Like, there's just so much wildlife back there.
Are the cows still coming through to your side?
Well, we found out where the downed barbed wire is, and so we're going to fix that. But they're not coming over right now because our next door neighbor actually was riding around on his horse. So he gave my nieces a horseback ride.
Wow, that was nice.
And he gave us some cheese. So his family is from Argentina, and they make homemade cheese. And so they gave my brother's family some cheese. And I actually went up to kind of like help a little bit. And so I got to try the cheese, and it was like really good. So
did you learn how to make the cheese?
Good times. No, but I think eventually I will learn to make the cheese just because they're next door and they're very nice. And I also want to ride some horses. So if I get an opportunity to go over to the neighbors and ride some horses, I'm like completely down with that.
Yes.
I know. Just living the Southern Aloha dream right now.
Southern Aloha. I love it. I think that has to be the name of your little new crafting business and your pickled mango business. Whatever else you
Yeah,
do.
the pickled mango. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Hey, I made another batch of the pickled mango, and it's pretty good. A
Did
little
you
bit
eat the
different,
other
but
one?
it's pretty good. Yeah, all the other one's gone. Like I ate it all. Basically.
Really? Oh my God.
So good.
Have you tried my my pickled mango martini recipe that's on our website?
No, not yet. You know I don't drink a lot, so it's gonna be a minute.
Well, you just don't have to put so much gin, but I liked it better with gin than I did with vodka. The vodka has too
Okay.
much of a flavor that it didn't, to me, it didn't work. But I
sit
love
well?
gin, so I'm just biased, I think.
The longer that pickled mango sits in the fridge, the better and better it gets. Like they start to shrivel a little bit and they're super crunchy. My mom bought like a ton of green mango, but she has not made the sauce yet.
Oh.
So I can't like make more. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to make more.
You better hurry up
'cause it's
before
so
they
good.
ripen.
I know. She was like, well, I'll just go buy more. Because all year round we have green mango. So it's not going to be like something that we can't source, but yeah.
But they do ripen fast.
You got us hooked. We're hooked.
Well, my other recipe for your ripened mango, also very nice. Vinegar, shoyu, black pepper, super easy.
Yeah, so we're gonna eat it anyway. But yeah, had a great weekend. Lots of stuff. Did lots of stuff. Ate really great food. I went to Uchi in Houston. Had like a complete like omakase meal. So if like you ever come to Houston, I'll take you there. It's a little pricey, but it was very, very good. And I think that's where I'm gonna end up going for my birthday this year instead of the melting pot. I love the melting pot, but
I don't know what that is. What is the melting pot too?
the Melting Pot is a fondue restaurant. A lot of people don't like it because the meal can take 3 hours, but I absolutely love the cheese course. They just melt a bunch of cheese in a pot. They give you all the fixins like bread, carrots, broccoli, cauliflower, and Granny Smith apples, green apples, and you just dip and you eat cheese. And then your next one can be a broth or it can be an oil, and you get like different kinds of meats and you know, proteins and vegetables. And then you get the chocolate course, which is like everybody's favorite. You get like graham crackers sprinkled, rolled marshmallows, Oreo sprinkled marshmallow. You just get all the things: cheesecake, brownies, strawberries.
And let's say you have your
and all
whole
that.
group. Is it one pot for everybody, or do they make a bunch of small ones so that it's around the table for everybody to reach it?
It's one pot or 2 pots per table, and usually if you have 2 pots, you don't have to agree on the same cheese. So they have like Fiesta style cheese, which you can do like it's almost like queso. You have pure Swiss cheese that's melted, but my favorite is the cheddar because cheddar they put like a little bit of a stout beer in there or like a lager, and then they mix garlic with pepper and Worcestershire sauce with the cheese, and it's just on point. It's like chef's kiss. Mwah, love it. Speaking
of storm, like what you want to eat in a storm, I love a fondue. That's actually our traditional, what my family and we make for New Year's Eve.
Oh, okay.
So my mom,
Nice.
I think it's a Howley thing. My dad's Howley, so she always made it for him, and it was kind of a special thing. And we'd have that with more wine, because in my mom's recipe, she does like Swiss and Gruyere and something else, and then a lot of white wine goes in there.
Ooh, yum. A Gruyere kind of cheese is like such a good cheese to put on a grilled cheese sandwich. Yum. Like triple yum. I had some really good cheese this weekend. A friend of mine made a charcuterie board for me, and we had like some really exotic cheese, like cheddar with chives and onions, or there was a truffle manchego and a what was the other one that we got? It was like an aged Gouda with garlic in it. It was just weird, and they're like all different colors, like green and bright red, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about dyed cheese. Like, it just makes me uncomfortable. But it was so good. So good. It was very good. I will admit. Yum.
Yeah, charcuterie also really easy to do in a storm when you have limited time, that you can grab things out of your refrigerator, and then, you're trying to eat things from your refrigerater. Very easy.
Yeah.
And crackers usually
before the power goes out.
Before the power goes out, for sure.
So, I'm thankful that just like Hawaii, sometimes we do get lucky and we just miss it. But there's actually 3 new storms out there that are like heading towards the United States. So we're going to just keep an eye on it. we're only halfway through hurricane season. So
Yep.
lo and
We should
behold,
actually
here we go.
talk about those tips again.
Yeah.
Oh, I had an adventure. I went
Okay,
to
tell me about it.
White Plains Beach,
Okay.
although I thought it was called White Sands, or it's called Barking Sands. I don't know. It's in Barbers Point. It's actually right behind the Costco in Kapolei.
Yeah.
Like, I remember Barbers Point being so far out in the boonies, but the way Kapolei has been built up and spread out, it's now right there with it. So it is a former Navy base, but the beach is still gated and they close it at night. And I have to go back and I have to say, remember how we say all beaches in Hawaii are, there's no private beaches? The military actually does have beach that's theirs that you can't get on because you can't get to it. And you actually don't want to get to it if they're running any kind of drills and things are exploding. It's not safe.
Right.
So they do have gates. I mean, you can't really get to a military beach if they don't want you to.
They are gated off, huh?
They are gated. Like, yeah, all the military bases are gated. But this one, because the gates still exist and they just open it up and it's open to the public, it's all clean. And they have like a picnic area and they have a lot of parking and they have a nice bathroom facility, shower facilities. There's I think that there's a store that you can rent things from and buy things from. I didn't get a chance to go in. I didn't have time. And you can see all of Waikiki out to Diamond Head from Kapolei. And that's actually one of the scenic points. And I actually did a video. So maybe that'll be the video for this episode. It was a little, speaking of stormy, windy, there was like a big rain squall out there that you can see hovering over Diamond Head, and then it moves out in front over the beach where I'm at.
Really?
Yeah. So it seems to be a really great beach for surfing. The waves, the sets were all very consistent. They didn't get really big. There is a mix. I mean, I read some Yelp reviews. A lot of people are scared of it because they think it's really a beach for locals, but I didn't actually see a lot of locals there when I was there. I thought it was a lot of military personnel, and just people, because Kapolei is, so spread out and there's such a new young community of families that live out there. It's not really safe, a beach, I would say, for swimming with small children. It drops off pretty deep, pretty quick, and there's a lot of reef out there to make the nice surfing swells. But, if you just want to go sit on the beach, the sand is clean. And I was actually really impressed at how clean it was. And there's no...
That's awesome.
I hate to say this, but there's no homeless at that beach. We have a serious homeless problem. In fact, there are some beaches that I want to go film, and I don't want to go there because of the homeless that have kind of taken over some of these beautiful beaches. It's really kind of unfortunate. So if other states, if you want to come visit Hawaii, make sure your state isn't one of the ones that keeps sending your homeless problems to Hawaii, because we don't have the resources to help them, unfortunately. And a lot of them need mental health care. It's really very simple. Just please.
Y'all just don't have the space.
We also don't have the land space. There's no place for them to go.
There isn't.
And you're taking away from our own local population that needs it, and they're the ones that need the shelter space. They're the ones we're trying to transition. And then when other states start inundating our services that are just so overwhelmed already, I mean, what can Hawaii do? We're the most expensive place on the planet to live, it seems.
Yeah, it really is expensive to live there. Everybody always asks me, like, why'd you leave Hawaii? And I was like, it's so expensive if you're a single person trying to live like in a certain area. I mean, yeah, a lot of people make it when they're single and they buy like little condos and stuff, but I wanted a house. I want land. And I don't have like a multi-generational family that lives there, I got some family, but it's not the same,
Yeah.
That's
I,
okay.
I wouldn't be able to afford to live here if it wasn't for my own multi-generations of family that came here over 100 years ago, a few hundred years ago. It depends on which family member.
It takes a village.
Definitely does. Definitely does. Oh, so let me go back to the Barking Sands, White Plains, whatever you want to call it, the beach out at Barbers Point that's out in what I consider Kapolei now because it's literally behind Costco in Kapolei. They have Navy, they have beach cottages. And so if you're part of the Department of Defense, they have 1, 2, and 3 bedroom beach cottages that you can rent on the beach in this area. Very affordable. I thought it was going to be open to the public. It might still be in transition. So just keep checking their website. Because I think you may not need that Department of Defense connection in the future because it is a decommissioned military base. And the state of Hawaii is not, I don't know if they've taken full management of all of the facilities because it's a lot. I know that there is still Navy housing there. And the last time, and I did just check, and I couldn't figure out how to rent it if you don't have that Department of Defense connection. But they're advertising it actually on the radio, saying that anybody can rent it. So I just can't find the website for it yet. So I'm sure it's there. If I find it, I'll post it. But I mean, affordable vacations, and they're well maintained, cute little Hawaiian style little bungalows.
That's awesome.
All of our military bases actually have
A lot of perks.
a lot of these facilities, like vacation rental cottages around the state. And so if it's really worth looking into if you have those connections because it's very affordable. It makes making a visit to Hawaii very affordable. And they're on all the islands.
Yeah, it does. I mean, yeah. I mean, a lot of people don't look into it or they don't take advantage of it. But, I mean, I didn't rent anything on Bellows Beach because I didn't like that they didn't have air conditioning. But the Halikoa Hotel was, like, nice.
In Waikiki, yeah.
Yeah.
Right in Waikiki.
Yeah, but I always wanted to stay in the bougie hotels, so.
My father had, he retired from the Air National Guard. So I grew up with a military ID. I actually had access to go and use a lot of military facilities. And parking in Waikiki at Fort DeRussy was something that I used a lot once I was a driver. Because you'd want to go to Waikiki with your friends and nobody wanted to pay for parking. So just know all military personnel, if you got somebody with a military ID, the parking is the cheapest at Fort DeRussy. Yep. And I lost that when I got too old.
Use the spa facilities at a hotel.
And then you can validate your parking. Unless you're planning to shop, then definitely park someplace that you're going to shop at because they'll validate your parking.
International Marketplace, Royal Hawaiian Shopping Center.
Yeah. And if you know where you're going to spend money, call the store and ask them where they validate for their parking.
Good call on that one.
Because sometimes they'll help you out. And the military bases, I mean, I used to golf all the time. So I loved golfing at Kaneohe Marine Base. I think if you have the opportunity, Barack Obama used to golf there all the time when he visited. It's a gorgeous golf course and affordable. Not that Barack needed to save some money, but it's a gorgeous golf course.
I don't know. I feel like all the presidents spend too much time golfing.
They do seem
I haven't seen
to.
I haven't seen Biden do that yet.
Maybe he used to. He's really...
Maybe.
I think there's just so much that landed on his plate when he took office. He hasn't had time. You notice it's towards the end of their term. Like year one is, they come in hot. We've got plans. We're going to do this and this and this. And then...
I don't know if it's got plans, but definitely a lot on the agenda.
Yeah.
For sure.
And he's dealing with a lot and he's doing his best. But, there's a lot of people that make these decisions. It's not just him.
And welcome to fall in Houston and Katy and Pattison and all the areas surrounding Brookshire. All the places we actually dipped down into the 60s and 50s at night and the mid 80s during the day with a light breeze. And so it's actually kind of bearable outside. Our summer did not last very long.
It didn't. No. And I feel like it's kind of the same. It's just been more raininess here in Hawaii. It's crazy. It's blue skies. And then all of a sudden this one cloud will come rolling over and then it dumps rain. And it's not like a light rain. It's a heavy rain. And I've actually been trying to get some rain footage. And it's really hard when it rains for all of 5 minutes. You know, it's so dark. It gets so dark. It looks like it's going to rain for half an hour to an hour. And then all of a sudden it's blue skies in 5 minutes. And I'm like, damn it.
You know what? I don't know. I think whenever I was in Hawaii, I always knew it was going to rain in the afternoon. So I'd always tell people there's afternoon showers every day in Hawaii. So people were just expecting that.
Especially on the windward side, for sure. Or if you're anywhere near mountains, if you're near green tropical rainforest, it's going to rain every day. Every day.
Yeah. Kaneohe.
Kaneohe for
Waimanalo.
sure. Yeah.
That's why it's so green there.
Yeah, definitely on the windward side of all the Hawaiian islands. Kauai. The entire island of Kauai looks rainy. It all looks tropical
really
rainforest. One part that is in Waimea where the canyons are. And it's crazy because I have been closer to the Grand Canyon than I have ever gotten to Waimea canyons.
Wow, that's funny. The Grand Canyon is something else. I have taken a couple helicopter rides into the canyon, and it's mind-boggling how much there is, how big it is. But I went one time when it snowed in Las Vegas for the first time in 10 years. And so the morning of my helicopter flight, the Grand Canyon was covered in snow for the first time. And it was so amazing, and it was beautiful. And it was just a really special moment, at least for me. The person I went with, I don't know if it was that special, but it was really fun and I enjoyed it. But it was a once-in-a-lifetime thing. So.
We were actually there kind of at the same time.
Yeah?
In Vegas. Yeah, I think we were only I don't know. I was there right when it started to snow for the first time also in that many years. We were there the day before it snowed, and then we were there a couple of days after. So we were there at the same time.
That's so weird. How did we not know that?
I don't know. I do remember you telling me you were going to Vegas or you came back, but that just shows how different our lives just kind of came that close together and then passed each other. Probably passed each other in separate casinos.
Doubtful. I would have noticed. I would have known it was you. Again, I think you're pretty recognizable. It's the hair.
Unless you're my daughter. She just walked right past me.
Yeah, who just walks right by you. That's pretty funny. But yeah, things are getting good. I love fall. Fall is my favorite time. October's the best month, I think, because it's just on the cusp of getting cool. And then you have Halloween that comes up.
The holiday season. So it goes Halloween and then Thanksgiving and then Christmas and then New Year's Eve. And then it goes.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited for the holidays. I'm so excited for winter time because I can layer and dress up in all my jackets. And I'm you bust out the cute clothes then because it's not so hot when you wear them. I love that stuff. I love dressing up nice. I'm excited for Christmas because there's an account on TikTok that keeps popping up. And I think it's tempting me, but it's Christmas is only 80 some days away. And then it's starts playing all the Christmas music. And I love Christmas music. And just 24/7 Christmas music sounds good. Because it's just happy and full of joy. And they keep showing all these Christmas hacks and things you should make and little crafts. And I was this is getting a little out of control. I still got 2 months to figure out present shopping. I'm going to keep my list tight this year. I'm not going to get crazy and try to get everybody and their mother a gift.
I don't know if keep it tight. Your family can handle any more gifts. It sounds like the move. They have so much
crap.
Stuff.
We have so much crap. Yeah.
I know. I'm trying to downsize too. So I that's the last thing is I don't want things. I want experiences. So food things are amazing. Yeah. Things that you don't have often. like those Big Island Candies cookies. Or also this, I think it was a rum it was a rum infused maple syrup that my aunt had in California. And I was like, I'm thinking I'd like to get something like that. And Costco did bring something in that I should have bought and I didn't and I missed it. So I'm going to keep my eye out for something like that. But, things that are experiences, even if it's going, like I really want to go do this tour at, I think it's going to be at the palace, the Iolani Palace. I think it's on Christmas or something, but it's like $125 per person. And I think it's a nighttime party with a dinner or something like that.
Oh.
I remember looking into it.
You'll have to give us more details.
Yeah. So that's something I'd like to do. Things like that.
Ren Fair's coming, so I'm excited. In 2 weeks it starts again, so I'll have some Ren Fair stories again. Definitely going all out with my costume this year. Got some friends going. Family's going to go dress up. Everybody's just going to be dressed up. It's going to be great, and hopefully the weather is cooler. But this year they're being more restrictive, especially with their employees. A friend of mine who works there was like, you have to be vaccinated or you have to have a COVID test every day if you work there. And then another thing was like they're going to be very restrictive on how many people are there. And then you have to wear masks, I think, inside buildings, which, because I mean, there's like 40 to 50,000 people a weekend, or even in a given day, they can have 30 or 40,000 people.
How big is like this whole Ren Fair area? Is it like the size of like Disneyland?
It's pretty big. I would say, yeah. Yeah.
And so they have an area for rides. Do the rides, are they built? Are they just like regular fair kind of rides? Like in Hawaii, we have a 50th State Fair. Is it those same kind of rides?
They're not actually mechanical. They're actually all human powered.
Oh.
Or they use gravity. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's actually like no like machinery involved in any of their rides. It's basically like somebody's pushing you, or you're pulling yourself, or they let go of a switch and then you like end up flying. Like, it's very much trying to stay true to like medieval times where you're not using electricity to power these rides. There's axe throwing, there's like use of bows and like all kinds of things, knife throwing.
Okay.
There's even leapfrog, like where you put like a rubber frog and then you hit the thing with a mallet and you try to get it into a lily pad. Stuff like that. It's just cheesy, but it's fun. And then there's like petting zoos, and then there's like horse rides, elephant rides, camel rides. I don't ride animals, but
do they do like reenactment things too, like plays and
they
performances?
do jousting, plays, performances, musical performances with like older instruments, and they have regular instruments too. But and then they do like skits. They have some really great comedy shows that you would love, and they do the jousting.
And it's so special because it's only a short time, right? It's only like a couple of months.
It's 2 months. 2 months, yep.
Yeah.
Yep. They have themed like weekends, and at night you can go to like a special like dance sort of thing, but it's really like an excuse to get drunk and like just be silly. They have campgrounds. They have cabins now that are themed. They just have a lot. They're doing a lot more.
Stay there like for a weekend or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
And are they open on the weekdays, or it's weekends only?
Weekends only, except for the last weekend. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
So I'm going opening weekend. So if you see me out there and you're listening to this, please look for a pirate with lots of tattoos. Like, that's all I can say.
They won't find you. You're going to have a mask on or something.
Yeah, I will. Actually, I'm going to be wearing like a cover over my face. But,
over your face, maybe an eye patch. He'll just got to find you with the one eyeball.
No, I'm actually going to do like a full blackout of my eyes. Like, I'm going to like put like, I don't know if you've seen the 100 or you've seen like, I don't know, like Viking sort of like pirates who have like super dark eyeshadow, but it goes like all the way across their face.
Okay.
Like right around their eyes. Yeah, I'm going to do like some really dark makeup. A friend of mine told me I need to get like some kind of like setter, like, you know, you spray it and it sets the makeup so it doesn't come off. And I was like, man, this is a lot of work. I'll be afraid to touch my face.
Yeah, don't get sweaty.
Yeah. Oof.
You gotta wait till it's
We'll see.
colder, and then it won't sweat off.
Maybe. I just want to look cool this year. I want to try something different. I want to be like more, like just darker. Like
Okay.
Darker, badass pirate thing.
Well,
Yeah.
sounds like fun. Sounds like a lot of fun.
It's gonna be fun. Yeah, I'm excited to report about it. I'm just excited every year that it comes around. It's a great time.
And what else is happening?
Turkey leg. Turkey leg.
Is there a vendor?
No, there's turkey legs everywhere. That's the thing. That's like the thing to get.
It's the thing to get. When I went to Disneyland with my child, when we were doing the college thing, and so adamant to get a turkey leg. And I was like, really? It takes more than 2 of us to eat that whole thing. And so many, like I want to say like muscle build kind of guys, like they were walking past and they would stop, turn around and say, hey, where'd you get that?
Yeah, exactly.
And we had walked the entire park and the other one.
You could only get it in one place.
It was only one place. It was by the Mark Twain, that boat.
Yeah. You can get it there, and you can also get it on a cart, like right on Main Street, like when you get close to the castle. They'll have them on a cart too. But you're right, over by the Mark Twain riverboat
thing. Yeah, there. I didn't see it on Main Street. We had been looking. We had really actively been looking and couldn't find it.
You should have just asked a cast member. They have to tell you where they are.
They have to tell you. They have to tell you the truth.
They absolutely have to tell you where they are.
It's hard to find a cast member. And then the time we were there, it was like summer. It was like the super busiest, stupidest time to go ever. And they were so busy and inundated. That's okay.
With people.
We did find it eventually. But it was like, you knew people were like sick of carbs and they were just like, I'm sick of this sugary stuff. Find me some protein. And those are the guys that kept stopping and asking, hey, where'd you get that?
Yep. Whenever you're eating a turkey leg, like you somehow garner a following or gather a following of individuals, especially like big beefy people.
Yeah.
I'm excited. All right. So Ren Fair's coming. Turkey legs ahoy. All the things. Yeah. So I'm excited to take pictures too. I think this year is going to be a little bit better than last year. But we'll see.
So it's October and I am starting to see all the things for Halloween coming out. In fact, I had bought an entire thing of Reese's Cups ready for Halloween because, you know, it was early and I didn't think I was going to go out to like, I don't even know where I was and I bought it. I think it was at like Target. And I just like, oh, it's a giant bag. I can put this in the fridge and it'll be fine till Halloween. It's gone. My last Reese's Cups. I'm sorry. It got eaten a week ago, and I was talking to my family members, going, "Why? Why did you guys eat it all? There's nothing for the children that might show up." But they all argued. I can't believe
you're trying to hold on to them for that long. Like,
even my mom took like a big Ziploc bag. She took some of it out, and so she still has it in her fridge.
Yeah, you can always go steal them from her.
Yeah, but anyway,
you can get more candy.
I actually have to go out and buy more candy, even though I don't think anybody is going to trick or treat again because of COVID. I haven't even heard about like the malls. All the malls used to do like a safe trick or treating event for children, and they would set up kind of things. That was past my kids' time, so we never got to experience that. But there used to be some really great streets that would be like, they would be wild. Yeah. The houses, the decorations, the projections on people's houses with all the Halloween movies, the scary music blasting, whatever they had. And all the adults would be dressed up. It would be like a party for adults.
I got invited to a block party in Hawaii when I was there, and I liked it. I mean, yeah, all the adults were like completely wasted and the kids were just rolling in candy. Because they would go like get full-size bars. And I was like, this is going to be really bad in the morning. They kind of do, I think my brother's church did like some kind of drive-through trick-or-treating. Mm-hmm. So there was a bunch of cars that would like set up. And the kids would like, so you set up a bunch of cars in the parking lot and then you open up your back tailgate and then like, because everybody in Texas drives an SUV or truck. Uh-huh. And then they would just like go from car to car and they would have prepackaged like baggies of candy that they made with, like all the parents are making them with gloves and everything. We all have masks on or whatever. And then we give them the bag, to, the kids. So I like doing that. I mean, at least it's like people who are giving your children candy.
Yeah.
Instead of like people you don't know who could be like injecting it or something. Because there was that problem. Like people were hiding needles and injecting weird stuff into the candy. And
yep.
Yeah. So I'd rather do something safe with my nieces anyway.
We all grew up with those evil people who would do horrible things to candy for children.
Still alive and kicking.
Somehow we survived it.
Yeah, we survived.
Yeah.
We should make T-shirts that say like,
we survived our childhood.
I grew up in my childhood was unsafe, but I'm still here, or something like that.
Yeah, no babysitters. No,
I didn't have a safe word.
Yeah, latchkey kids. It was pretty much like
candy was
like that show Stranger Things, how the kids are just running wild and all night long,
bike riding home, doing whatever they want.
Nobody cared. Parents were too busy.
I'm gonna confess something. I actually just started watching Stranger Things.
Oh, doesn't it
that what it
make
is
you
called?
feel? Yeah, Stranger Things.
What's it called?
It takes you back. Stranger Things.
Yeah, it does. I mean, like, the music is good. Like, I remember wearing a polo shirt that had, like, it was made out of, like, terry cloth or whatever. And, the color combinations are awful.
Oh, yeah. Especially when the girls go shopping. Wait, which season are you on?
I'm only on the first, like, the 4th episode of season 1. Like, I'm not even close to moving up right now. Like,
okay.
I'm having a hard time getting through it already. I'm like, all right. But it's like, my brother said it's like a version of the Goonies. And I was like, oh, okay.
It kind of is. And it gets better and better. It was fun.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Because, I mean, I'm trying. Because everybody's like, why haven't you seen it? That's blasphemous. And I'm like, I wasn't interested at the time.
Well, I wanted to do something scary to, like, kick off October. Because it's Halloween month, which is my favorite holiday. Do you have a short, scary story?
No.
You only have a really long one? Well, I don't know if I should do this one or if I should do like something like a personal experience.
Personal experience, go.
Personal experience. So the first time, actually, I've always had crazy experiences since I was a kid. When I was little, my mom was in the shower and I was walking. I was a toddler and I was walking. And I somehow escaped the locked door, which I didn't have the ability to open. But I escaped the house and I walked out into the middle of the street.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And my mom had to come out in a towel to grab me.
I could see your mom doing that.
I guess she heard the door open. And yeah. I used to see things like all the time when I was a kid. I have memories of hanging out with the Menehune, going on adventures with them.
Menehune. Tell us what that is.
So the Menehune are the mythological little people of Hawaii. They've built things. In fact, I went on a building adventure. They were building a tunnel. You know where I think it was? It was my neighbor back in the day had built a bomb shelter, and I guess it was open because I was down there in this bomb shelter, and I was with the Menehune, and we were like hanging out. Yeah, we were doing something. Yeah. I think they were helping to build it. They were building an underground tunnel.
Nice.
Yeah, it was weird. I've also had dreams or visions or experiences, mostly out of body experiences. When I was a kid, I never wanted to be in my body. I was always astral projecting, always. Like, I remember I would walk home from school and my astral body would be jumping along on the poles, the light poles, and I'd be dancing up there from light pole to light pole. And I've had friends who would come by me and they would say, "Do you need a ride home?" And then I wouldn't respond. They would see me the next day and they're like, "We tried to talk to you, but you were like, your head was down and you were just walking." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, my body was a puppet. I wasn't in there. I was somewhere else."
Wow, that's creepy, Mai. My body was a puppet. Like, why did you say it like that? My body was a puppet.
I was just making sure it went where it needed to go, but I was up playing. Flying. I would fly all the time. I was so good at flying with my astral body. I still am. I haven't been able to do it as much. I think too much is on my mind. When you have too much on your mind, it keeps your body, your astral body in your body. That's less fun.
I see.
Less fun. Something scary when I bought so it was this house that I bought away from my parents. It was the first time I moved out and I bought my first place, and it was like the worst house in the best neighborhood. There was like horrible graffiti on every wall. There was holes in the walls. It was damaged, but it was cheap, and I was able to buy my first home at a very young age. Worked my butt off to fix it up and paint over everything. I mean, paint heals a lot.
Yeah.
But I had an experience. There was like flickering lights. I started to have weird experiences. One night I had friends over, and I had gotten really drunk, and I went to bed. And I laid on the bed, and I knew that I was drunk, and I was just trying to sleep. And then all of a sudden my body started to bounce off of the bed. Like something was jumping on the bed like a trampoline, to the point where my body lifted completely off the bed. And I was like, what in the world is happening? And I said, I'm up. And I get up, and then the bed stops. And I look around, wow. Nothing is there. So I lay back down, and then a few minutes later, it happens again. And I'm woken up again. This time I'm like, okay, I don't know what's happening, but now I'm sick. So I get whatever is in me out, drink a lot of water, and I eventually go back to bed. I remember lying there, and I was drifting off to sleep, and all of a sudden I was sitting now in this room. It was daytime, not nighttime. And there's a bathroom with a double vanity, and the counter connects in between. And I was sitting on top of that counter in between the two sinks. And I was watching this guy where he fell down, collapsed on the carpet in front of the two sinks, and started to violently shake like a seizure. And then the girl was freaking out, panicking. So I'm seeing it from her point of view, but I'm also feeling what he's feeling, and like I'm stuck on the floor at the same time. And basically they told me that he died of a drug overdose, and he was the guy who was haunting my house. And he was afraid for me, and he told me that he was worried that I wasn't breathing, and that's why he shook the bed to help me, to make sure that I woke up. So not all
maybe
ghosts are bad.
True. No, they're not.
He was a nice guy. I feel sorry that he may have died like that. I'm trying to think. After that, and I got to, I guess, meet him, who my ghost was. He would flicker the lights in the kitchen when I was like cooking or something and be chopping vegetables, and I would literally say, I really need the light on. Can you not do that? And then he would stop, or it would stop.
Did you ever just talk to him?
Yeah, I would talk to him randomly throughout the house. But the only time that I visually saw him was that one time where he showed me that vision of, I guess, his death, and then his girlfriend. And I kind of, being a local girl, she was a Hapa girl too, kind of looks similar. So I think maybe I reminded him of his girlfriend. Yeah.
Possibly. Yeah.
Yeah. But he did wake me up, and he did get my attention, and he,
That's hilarious. Though. Yeah, he saved your life.
He saved my life. But he bounced my body off the bed. Like, I don't know how he did that. He jumped on the bed.
He might have jumped on the bed. Yeah, like full body slam.
Yeah. And he was like, wake up. Wake up. I mean, I wasn't scared because I was so drunk. I was like, what the F is happening? What is this?
Was anybody else in the house with you at that time, or no?
Oh yeah, I had my I had a bunch of friends there. They
Oh, they
came
lived there
actually
with
to
you?
check on me. I did have
Oh,
friends living with me too,
okay.
but
Cool.
yep,
You survived.
I
You
survived.
survived. I'm a survivor.
But that was
We
like
survived a lot of things. We've
that was a weird.
survived so many things. Now that I think about it, I really want to make a T-shirt.
I survived my childhood.
Like during Halloween, like just be like, I used to eat strangers' candies during Halloween, like, and I'm still here, like something like to that effect, because we never worried about getting candy from a stranger.
Didn't your
What's the
parents take it
difference
from
between
you?
a
Did they take it from you and
no?
examine all your candy? Oh, see, my parents did
No,
that. They didn't trust that I could
did not.
look at it myself. And then there would be
I
like
guess,
this pile
yeah.
that would be like, nope, these are suspicious. And then they would all go in the trash.
I mean, it's so easy to seal stuff now. Like everybody has like a vacuum sealer and like
Again, now
all the things,
I mean,
glue.
it gets scarier. I just don't understand why people would want to harm children.
That's a good question, and we will not delve into that one.
No, it can't. We can't.
I've had a supernatural experience. So I went to school in Virginia for my first degree out of too many, and I was doing a tour of like old houses, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, these are great, like lots of history, love like all the rooms and the decorations. So I'm like walking in, and the hostess or who's like taking us around, the tour guide, she's dressed in the time period clothing, right?
Mhm.
So more of like a Victorian era clothing. So my friends and I are walking and we're like listening. She's droning on, and I decide to stop in like kind of the sitting room or library or whatever. And it had this long mirror like over in the corner. I was like, oh, this is nice. So I just like perused some of the books. I like touched a couple things because I like the books. And then I stopped in front of the mirror and I was looking at it for a second, and I saw this woman like in another room behind me.
Mhm.
So like down the hall behind me. And I was like, oh, she looks nice. Like she, like all done up in her stuff. And then I turned around because she like looked up and looked at me. And I was like, oh, okay, well maybe I need to catch up, because the group had moved on to another room. So I turned and went to another room, and she was talking. The guide was like talking to me and da 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 da. And I was like, there's a woman who's like really dressed really nicely, high collar, the jewels and everything. And I was like, who's that? Does she work here too? And she goes, what other woman? I'm like, wait. Like, no, I meant like there's another person working, right? She's doing the other tour. She's like, no, I'm the only tour guide here. So what woman? What does she look like? And I was like, well, she's pretty. She looks really well put together. She's wearing kind of like a high collared white sort of dress with like accents. And she goes, you mean that person? And I turn around and there's this portrait of this woman.
Mm.
And she was like, she used to be the owner's daughter who died because of a disease. And I was like, maybe. And then, I tried to see if like maybe like I saw her portrait from the other room or something. And my friends are like, are you okay? And I'm like, I think I just saw her. And then you start looking at the portrait and you think the eyes are like following you and stuff. And I was like, I need to leave. Like, I was like, can I be excused? But the guy did say like later, she was like, yeah, she shows up sometimes, but she's super nice and she's friendly. She's just interested in people who like see her. And I'm like, okay, well, you know what? Maybe I touched her favorite book, whatever. Said my piece, and I was like, thanks for letting me visit. And I was like, deuce it. I was out. I was like down the street, back to the car.
Wow.
Because I don't want to bring somebody along with me. Like, I'm a guest in her house. And I was like, I'm just a guest. Sorry. But apparently she makes an appearance all the time. So she just chooses.
Yes. Yeah. In Hawaii, I guess, what do I say? I see spirit activity is kind of a big deal here in Hawaii. And I really feel like it's the volcano being so active that there's just a lot of energy here. Plus, there's like over 1 million people who live on Oahu, and there's a lot of people who've lived here and died here. And of course, that's just going to have, it's just going to add to it. And then so many stories are told all the time that I feel like it gives more energy when you tell a ghost story to keep it going, it's like batteries, you know? And if you stop telling the story, I think then the stories will fade, but the energy's still there. And, I was going to say that when you encounter or you go someplace that you're not sure of, I always say jump into the ocean. You know, you want to get all the way under your head, you got to go all the way under, because something that's purifying about the ocean with the salt water is it's going to detach anything that might have attached to you, any kind of energy that you might have picked up. And sometimes it's not an entity. Sometimes it's just an energy of a place that can attach itself to you. And
it's true.
Those can become, if you give it attention or energy, it can grow. It can get bigger and it can start to do things. So, just keep that in mind. Other than that, if you don't have an ocean nearby, my auntie she's a kahu. She sees more ghosts than I ever have and knows how to deal with it. And I have a lot to learn. But one of the things she taught me is before you enter into your house, you wash your hands and your feet. And usually you do this like on an outside exterior water pipe or something, like where you'd have your hose attached to outside. So if I've been someplace that I felt uncomfortable, I would just always rinse my feet and my hands. And then you let the water drain. And then you make sure that when you don't step back into that water.
Yep.
That puddle
I think I saw you do that a couple times.
Yeah. So, and then you look, and if the puddle forms something like hands or legs, or you see a face, then that's definitely the entity that was attached to you leaving you.
And that's when you run away in terror.
You just don't touch it.
Absolutely.
You just don't touch it. And you make sure that you step over the puddle, and then you take a full shower. You wash everything head to toe.
Yeah. That makes sense. Well, we'll continue on with some more stories, because now that I think about it, it's easier for me to tell stories instead of try to read.
Yeah, trying to read it. Yeah. I know. I just have notes here. I have a bunch of really good ones, but we've got three episodes that will air in October, and I want to have some fun stories for the entire month.
Yep. Thanks again for joining us for another episode of My Tais at Sunset. It's been an absolute pleasure, and thank you for tuning in. Check us out at mytaisatsunset.com, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and anywhere else you enjoy your favorite podcasts.
And thank you again to all the patrons. We love you. Until we meet again. Ahui ho.